Gutka Khalsa, Gutka Fateh. Many of you may have been invited to attend this Camp Midi Pidi that SikhNet and Yogi Bhajan's Sikh Dharma International is hosting in Espanola, New Mexico. But I'm here to show you the truth about the teachers at this camp and the cult practices around Yogi Bhajan that they practice. This camp is definitely anti-Gurmat and violates many of the Sikh code of conduct practices. Now, as an example, one of the teachers at this camp is Gutka Sahib, who is a director over at SikhNet and a longtime Yogi Bhajan follower. Now, Gutka Sahib has admitted and written an article that he keeps Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in his sacred Nitnam, or Gutka Sahib. This is the Gutka Sahib that we all use to recite our banis every day. And Gutka Sahib has sacrilegiously placed Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in his Gutka Sahib. He says he uses them to have power and to create protection for himself. This is completely anti-Gurmat and against the Sikh Maryada. Now here is the article that he himself wrote, this Gutka Sahib. It's called Hanging On by His Fingernails. This is Yogi Bhajan with some fingernails here. Now, I will put a link to this whole article in the description to this video. But for now, you can also see here the pertinent paragraphs that I've extracted from this article. You'll see here in bold letters where Gutka Sahib says, "Then he looked at me and extended the wrapped napkin to me, saying, 'You want these?'" He's talking about the fingernails, right? I replied in the affirmative. He smiled and said, "They will give you a lot of power and protect you." I took the folded napkin gratefully and thanked him. This is Gurukha's own words. And here is the pertinent paragraph that talks about how Gutka Sahib actually puts these toenails in his nitnam. He says, "Later then, when I looked at the 10 perfect crescents, each nail looked as though it had been trimmed with a laser beam. The cut edges were perfectly smooth and perfectly even, despite having been cut with a very dull toenail clipper." Amazing. This is what Gutka Sahib says. "I kept the nail clippings in the napkin and placed them in my nitnam." These Yogi Bhajan followers have a cultish attachment to Yogi Bhajan, and this has to stop. I suggest that everyone boycott this so-called Sikh camp that the Yogi Bhajan people are hosting, write letters to them demanding that Gutka Sahib and these other Manmat teachers be extracted and banned from these type of courses and Sikh camps. Now this is another teacher who is at the camp, and this is the wife of Yogi Bhajan. The Yogi Bhajan people call her BBG, and she's gotten these titles from the SGPC and other entities in Amritsar. But these entities, Sikh entities, do not know the truth about this Indrajit Kaur Puri, who is defaming and being a horrible example for Sikhs. Here is a picture of her and her family at a puja that they attended where they put Yogi Bhajan's ashes in the Ganges River. And you can see them there sitting. This Indrajit Kaur Putty, or BBG as the Yogi Bhajan people call her, is sitting there in the middle there with her 2 sons on either side and her daughter on there, and there's other 3 HO people there with her. They are a complete violation of the Sikh Maryada by practicing these Hindu pujas and Hindu ceremonies. Sikhs only worship one God. We give reverence only to one God, the true God that is beyond time and cannot be illustrated or depicted with idols. And you can see Yogi Bhajan's picture there that they've placed here in front of that big Shiva statue there. Here's a close-up of that. And you can see her there between her 2 sons, this Indrajit Kaur Putty. There's that Swami there, and we'll talk more about him. He's a longtime friend of the Putty family, Yogi Bhajan and the Putty family. Now, I have been sent these pictures from a family member in the Yogi Bhajan family who does not want to have their name made public yet. But these are pictures from what this person says are pictures of idols and murtis that this Indrajit Kaur Putty keeps in her residences. I have these pictures from a very credible source. And you can see her, she's placed pictures of the Guru Sahibans underneath this Hindu murti. Now, if anybody does go to this course in Espanola, this Midi-Pidi camp, you should definitely confront this Indrajit Kaur Putty and ask her straight up if she's worshiping these murtis. From what I've been told from this source, which is a very credible source, and I've known this person for at least 30 years, who's given me these photos. From what I can tell, they're legitimate because I recognize the surroundings where these murtis are being placed in the estate in LA, in Los Angeles, where this Indrajit Kaur Putty has her residence there. And it makes sense when she's worshiping and doing these Hindu pujas and going on doing these pujas. You can see her here. He has a tika, or eye of Shiva, on her forehead. You can see here. You can see the red eye of Shiva there on her forehead. It makes sense that she's doing worshipping these murtis in her home when she's doing these pujas there with Yogi Bhajan. That's Indrajit Kaur Putty with her daughter there as well. She's supposed to be, this Panth Ratan was given to her, and she is being a horrible example of a Sikh. Sikhs should not be doing this, especially one that is in a position of leadership. Here she is again. And again, you can see that red tika on her forehead there, really clearly there. This is going to be shocking, this evidence, to a lot of the Yogi Bhajan followers. But believe me, it is true. Now, I can attest personally And I say this with sadness, but the truth needs to come out. That and by the way, my name is Gursant Singh. Many of you may know me already, but just for those who don't, I was in the Yogi Bhajan group for 30 years. And I took this Indrajit Kaur Putty around, Yogi Bhajan's wife, to a lot of astrologers and Hindu pundits, especially this one Chakrapani, who lived in Santa Monica at the time. And she was really into getting these astrological readings. And everything she did, I took her there many, many times. I took this Chakrapani to see Yogi Bhajan as well, many times. And you can see here, this is a chart that Yogi Bhajan actually drew up, this astrology chart. And so, to my mind, it makes complete sense that this Indrajit Kaur Putty, this BBG as they call her, is worshipping Hindu murtis and doing these un-Sikh-like practices of consulting astrologers and pundits. And like I said, I can attest to that. As a Gursikh and one who follows the gurus, this is really shocking. Now at the time, of course, I had no idea what these violations were, because we didn't know anything about the Sikh Maryada. Yogi Bhajan never taught us. So these are two teachers at the camp. The third one is Gurmustak Singh, who is a director over at SikhNet, and he refuses to acknowledge these violations of the Sikh Maryada and anti-Gurmat practices that are going on there at the Yogi Bhajan Dera. You can see here how they do Murti Puja to this Murti of Baba Siri Chand. There's a gold one there, there's several gold ones there, right near the Gurdwara, and then a bronze big one there. You can see it off to the right of Gurmustak there. So anybody who goes to this camp should confront them on this, write them and tell them that they should not be doing these Murti Pujas. Here's one of the 3HO people actually doing this Murti Puja. And that's right by the SikhNet headquarters in Gurdwara. And they do these Murti Pujas to Yogi Bhajan as well. You can see the tops of the stars there, right where this Yogi Bhajan big photo is. And they carry on and worship Yogi Bhajan. They may not say they worship Yogi Bhajan, but they do, in all but name. Now here's another thing they do there in that Espanola Dera. They do yoga inside the Darbar of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. And you can see here, you can't see it here, but Gurbani is on this yoga mat, and this woman is sitting on it. It's kind of hard to see in this photo. But this is in the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and they're doing yoga. So again, anybody who goes to this camp will observe that. I suggest you not go, because it's just so bad there that anybody who's not completely in tune with their Sikhi, they could get very distracted. Now this is this is a mural there in Espanola, and you can see how they put this Catholic deity, this Mother Mary, Guadalupe they call her, in the middle of the Sikh Khanda, which is very sacrilegious and disgraceful. And they put the Sikh Guru Sahibans all around like a rosary around her, and then put Yogi Bhajan on level with Guru Ram Das Ji there. This is just completely sacrilegious. And then you can see Gurmustak Singh sitting there in the back, right under this mural. This is an old picture from the 1990s, I believe. And you can see Gurmustak Singh, one of the teachers at this course, and one of the directors over at SikhNet, sitting underneath this mural while they're doing kirtan. Here is another picture of the Yogi Bhajan people prostrating themselves and worshipping at Yogi Bhajan's death place. And of course, Guru Gobind Singh Ji told us never to worship at the graves of the dead. But the Yogi Bhajan people insist on doing that. They have a slavish attachment to Yogi Bhajan. Here they are prostrating at his death place again. They call it the Dome there at the ranch there in Espanola. I have inside information about all of this because I was doing this for 30 years until I discovered just how, anti-Sikh all of these practices were. It really saddened me and disappointed me and made me angry, to be quite frank, about how I was misled when I discovered what true Sikhi was about. Now here is that same picture here where they're doing this Murti Puja there with Yogi Bhajan's photo. And Yogi Bhajan taught that when he died, only his physical body would be gone. He said that his soul would then reside in his subtle body, which would hover over his students while he still taught and led tantric yoga. To his students, he would not be dead, but immortal. And this is what they believe. Yogi Bhajan taught that you should meditate on his photo. They do this Guru Yoga, they call it. And shamefully, Yogi Bhajan's, quote, Khalsa Council, which is very presumptuous to say, but Yogi Bhajan's, quote, Khalsa Council did this Tratakam meditation or Guru Yoga at the end of their meetings and did not do an Ardas, which should have been done. So these are all proof and evidence of the cult there around Yogi Bhajan. This is another gimmick that Yogi Bhajan followers were trying, where they were selling his pieces of his garments, the Yogi Bhajan's garments, like the Catholics would do in the Middle Ages, sell relics of the saints, these Catholic saints. So the Yogi Bhajan people, again, are completely attached to Yogi Bhajan. They have pictures of him there in the Darbar, the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji in Espanola. And you can see here where they're doing Prakash of Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji. They bring Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji into the Darbar, and this huge painting of Yogi Bhajan looms over the Darbar Sahib. You can see it's like a tantric painting of Yogi Bhajan. It just is really shameful and should not be there in the Gurdwara. Anyway, all of these things the people that go to this camp will be exposed to. And you can see here another shot of that where they're bringing the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji. This is believed they're doing Sukhasana at this point. Here's another shot of that big painting. And just recently, Yogi Bhajan Sikh Dharma International has said that they are going to build a 10-foot high murti of Yogi Bhajan and put it there at his death place in Espanola so people can do murti puja. It just goes on. And they want to spend like $82,000 on this project. You know, they get all this money from Sikhs all around the world through SikhNet, and then they pool it all into all these different organizations. And it's just, it really hurts me to see how they misuse the funds from Sikhs that worked hard for this money, and they think it's going through Gurmat practices, when in fact it's just going to support this cult around Yogi Bhajan. So I would suggest that you write SikhNet, you write the Sikh Dharma International, and tell them that you're boycotting this event, that you want to see real Gurmat practices and not this fake Yogi Bhajan tantric mantra nonsense being taught. And then when they step up and get some real Sikh teachers, then maybe we can start going to these camps. Thank you for your time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.